Chris Moses here with Gospel Progressions University, and I've recorded this video probably about 5 times with some kind of technical issue. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, and this will be the final cut of this. Now, I'm going to show you 3 interesting ways to get to a 4 chord. Now, when I first started learning how to play, I didn't really understand the concept of something called modes. And for example, just a mode, what it is, all it is just a transposition, or I should say an inversion of a scale. So we happen to have the major scale, like in B flat major, we have 7 notes. It would be B flat C, D, E flat F, G, A, and B flat. And there are 7 notes. I just played B flat as an extra. But with the 7 notes, you have 7 modes. But we're not going to concentrate on all the modes. I have other videos and training that is available on that. But this particular mode that I'm looking at, I'm talking about the 5th mode, which would be called the Mixolydian. So in this case, if we looked at B flat, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we inverted the scale of B flat and didn't start on B flat. We started on F, for example. We would have F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. And that is the F Mixolydian mode. Now, the great thing about this Mixolydian mode, it's gonna help me to show you the 3 ways that I had to learn how to do this. 3 relatively simple ways. The great thing about it is that it's used all over gospel. It's used in country and pop and different styles of music, but it's a great mode to know and understand how to form chords around it to move you to the 4th chord, all right, or to a 4 chord. So for example, I'm looking at the Mixolydian mode for the key of E flat, but B flat Mixolydian. In other words, I'm gonna start, right, you know our B flat major scale already, right? I'll start on B flat Mixolydian, would be B flat C, D, E flat F, G. Oh, I'm sorry, B flat C, D, E flat F, G, A flat, B flat. All right, I almost played B flat again. Now the thing about this is that when we look at the scale of E flat major, all right, we just have the same notes that are in common. So it's basically, it's like taking the E flat scale and inverting it. And of course, naturally, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're inverting it. We're starting the 5 as the 1. So we go here. And this is where we would end up. Now, understand that when we're inverting the notes, we also are inverting the chords as well. So the 1 chord for B flat major is going to be, of course, B flat. But it's not so with E flat. If we're inverting E flat and playing it as a mode, well, the 1 chord for B flat becomes the 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for E flat. But just bear with me for a second, because we're not looking at the key of E flat major. We're still in the key of B flat major. Because remember, all of the modes, the modes would shift the chords, all right, and the tonal center, all right, still going to be B flat, but, because I should say, in spite of that, B flat is still B flat. Either it's in E flat as a 5 chord or a 1 chord in B flat. It's still the same. But what we make it, how we make it a tonal center is that normally we'll play whatever chords we play over it, over the chords in our left hand, the notes in our left hand, or how we construct our harmony. In other words, if we have a song, right, simple song, and I'll just do, or rather, okay, and if I just went right from B flat and then B flat over D to E flat, that's one way of getting to it, right? And that's not really one of the ways I'm going to show you, but it's a simple way to move in that direction. But using the Mixolydian scale, right, what we can do is just play a chord progression like I did the song, Yes, Jesus Loves You, right? So this is the first I'm going to show you. All right. And now I could do a regular 5 chord here, right? All right, and let's go here and then go. I can do that, or if I wanted to change that last part, yeah, she just loves me when we go into for the Bible tells me so, right? I can do regular move to 4, right? And then now when I get to the 5 chord, right, I can make it a minor chord, right? Matter of fact, let me just play it for you. So and do this. Now, when I do this chord here, all right, for yes, it's a minor chord. Now, the great thing about this chord change, right, is that with gospel, we know our modes, but we also have like I said, inversions of scales, we have inversions of chords, but we also have our 2-5-1 understanding that in gospel, 2-5-1 chord progressions is how we progress from one chord to another. And when I say 2-5-1 in particular, I don't mean just any old 2-5-1, like for B flat, just, you know, a 2-5-1, yes. It does have a particular sound to it. It's going to be a minor 2, a dominant 5, and a major 1, but it's not just for the root that we're playing in B flat. We can also use that for a 4 chord. And it happens to be that a 2 chord is a minor chord, right? A 2 chord can be, I'm just checking to see if this camera's still on. The 2 chord can be, or this minor chord rather, I should say, is either a 6 chord, like the key of A flat. It can be a 6 chord. It can be a 3 chord, all right? This minor chord can be a 3 chord for the key of a D flat major, or in this case, it's a 2 chord, because you're only going to see it in three places in the major scale tonalities. It's going to be a minor second, a minor third, or a minor 6. So in this case, it's a minor second. So we can play it as a 2 chord, and then we can go now. It's a 5 chord for the B flat mixolydian, right? But it's a 2 chord for E flat major. This is where we're headed. And we could take the 1 chord, which would be normally a dominant chord. You could a regular chord. You can play it as a triad, but because we have the A flat here, we can play it like we can play it as a 9th chord, or even alter the 9 here and do this. Either way would work, and it get us right back to a major 7th chord, all right, or a major 7/4 chord. That's one way of doing it, and taking advantage of the fact that the 2 happens to be a minor 7, and then we can change the 1, or just play the 1 that is in the scale of the B flat mixolydian to the 4 chord. Another way to do that is using that same type of chord progression like the song "Oh Give Thanks," Judith Christy McAllister, right? So when they change it here, right? So I'll back up, and now look at this chord here. We have the B flat, F, A flat, C, E flat, G, B flat. The thing with music theory is that whenever we have chords that are like a triad like this, the third is what gives the chord its characteristics, or what's called a chord quality. So this is major, this would be minor, all right? So if this is major and this is minor, then what is this? This is more of what's called a suspended quality. It's almost like you're taking this E flat here and replacing it. So suspended meaning that the chord is floating. It wants to resolve. This chord definitely is a tense chord. It's not super tense, but it's tense enough to not, you know, it want to go somewhere. And it's tense enough to say that this is what we use in gospel or church all the time to build up. You know, you have a build up of this chord over here. You know, that sounds familiar to you. Now, with this chord here, it's building up to go someplace. It wants to go to a 4 chord. So we, instead of holding it from a 2 to a 5 to a 1, right? 2 chord, a 5 chord rather, for E flat, or the 1 chord dominant, sort of dominant, right? Because it has the floating quality. You can make it dominant here. We have this sound here. The D is a leading tone, the tritone, and then we're gonna resolve. It's a much more compelling, a much more powerful chord progression than just playing something. You can play it like that, and if I was playing it for a baby dedication or something, I wouldn't, you know, build it up like we're trying to, you know, get into a shout or whatever. But the point here is that we use this chord, all right, to get us to a 4 chord. And finally, the last way we could do that, moved from a 1 chord to a 4 chord, is if we're playing, or just make a movement to a 4 chord, is utilizing the 6 chord, even if we're still playing in, say, in B flat, right? Just B flat major. Now we have or you have the G minor, walk down in half steps. G minor, F sharp, G flat minor, and F minor to a dominant 1 chord to a 4 chord. This is something that you probably heard a million times. Walk down to go to a 4 chord. So those are the 3 ways you can utilize the mixolydian, all right, mode. Because again, for that walk down, we still end on that 2 chord, which comes from the mixolydian. even if we started in the B flat major, to imply E flat. A lot of what we're playing is implication or things that we're suggesting, okay? So if that, that was kind of something that you've never seen before, it was a little bit strange to you. It was strange to me when I first had modes explained to me because it wasn't explained right. And if you're just starting off on your journey and you're just trying to get your bearings with gospel music, well, I've got a treat for you. What I do have is my free training, Church Musician Fundamentals. You can go ahead and check that link out on the website. It will absolutely be a blessing to you. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Drop comments in the comment section. Engage, because the algorithm loves it. I love it, and it helps the channel and it helps me to help other people. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.